Last week, Michigan snapped a 4-game losing streak with this 29-yard field goal by Novo Bijovic to beat Houston in overtime 31-28. It was the longest game in USFL history. Michigan found new life in their playoff drive, and the players feel they can fly to the playoffs for the second straight year. The New Orleans Breakers lost to Arizona, but the bright spot was this man, number 22, Marcus Dupree, who ran for 125 yards and 11 carries. His first 100-yard-plus game as a pro, and the Breakers feel Dupree has arrived. So today, it's Michigan, the defending champion, against the Breakers of New Orleans. We're in the Superdome in New Orleans, where it is a constant 68 degrees, artificial surface, and a fast track for playing football. Hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brandt. When you look at those records, they are respectable 7-4 marks. However, it is a little bit deceptive. Michigan started with a 6-0 record against no defeats, but then they hit a four-game losing streak, a skid, and part of the reason was contract disputes. Then they had injuries, and now they're trying to regain the confidence that took them to the championship game last year. New Orleans started with a 5-0 mark, but then New Orleans hit the tougher part of their schedule, and then they started to falter. They've lost 4 of their last 6 games. Now they've gone back to basics in an effort to find themselves. Working with me again today is Lee Grosscup. And Cupper, if you look for a common denominator, you look for some of the problems, you look for the real facts, neither club has really played that well. And the pressure has been on the quarterbacks. They have not been hot.
Problems lately, Tim, but these are really 2 of the class quarterbacks in the league. Bobby Hebert, let's talk about him first. He was the USFL passing champ in 1983. He's been productive once again in 1984. But as you see right there, he has indeed had problems in recent weeks. In fact, the bottom line is that he has been intercepted 12 times in the last 6 games. Plays like this have backfired on him. Has his confidence been shaken? Well, listen to Bobby.
No, not really. You know, we got young receivers out there, and it's just a matter of us just getting on the same page. You know, Anthony Carter, I really miss him a lot. On 3 or 4 interceptions, it was just, you know, I'm thinking the receivers could do one thing and they do something else. And a couple other times we had to play catch-up ball. When teams know you have to pass, it makes it that much harder to throw.
On the other side of the field for New Orleans, the pressure has been on Johnny Walton.
Johnny Walton, I think, Tim, is the master of the quick passing game. Nobody does it better. But he, too, has encountered problems in recent weeks. In fact, in the last 2 games, he has been intercepted 6 times, which is uncharacteristic of his type of play. Plays like this last week against the Arizona Wranglers, where he tried to throw deep and was intercepted. We asked Johnny about some of the problems the team has been having recently.
Any individual breakdown causes a problem for the offensive team. You know, anytime one of our offensive linemen will be beaten, there's another fella coming after me that's weighing a lot more than I do, a lot taller than I am, and it kind of throws things off a little bit. Offense is very delicate, and, you know, you cannot point fingers, and, you know, we are trying to work it out together. Hopefully this week things will fall in place for us.
Even through the tough times for both clubs, I think the highlight has to be their running backs.
Buford Jordan, particularly, Tim, has been a pleasant surprise for them. And as you look at his numbers right there, you see that he's the most effective rookie running back in the league, even better than Mike Rozier, already over the 700-yard mark and averaging better than 6 yards per carry. And what's really been pleasant is that he's been equally effective as a receiver. Now, Michigan will be countering today with a rushing tandem. Ken Lacey, who you see on the left, and John Williams on the right. I like these guys as a tandem because they're both good as nuts and bolt runners, and also they have big play capabilities. Williams had his best game last week with 165 yards in the ball game against Houston.
Now, Michigan today will not have David Greenwood. How does that affect them?
Very much so, because Greenwood is the leader of their secondary and perhaps the best athlete on the entire roster.
Okay, the Panthers and the Breakers coming up, plus Jim Lampley will have a complete USFL report right after these messages. ABC Sports presents week number 12 in the United States Football League. Today's game brings the Michigan Panthers to New Orleans with a 7-4 record in first place in the Central Division against Marcus Dupree and the New Orleans Breakers. It's the USFL. The teams are on the field. They have been introduced, and we are at the Superdome in New Orleans. I mentioned it's climate-controlled, 72 degrees. They've turned it up just slightly. It is perfect weather for football inside. Artificial surface, a very fast track. I mentioned that both teams are 7-4. Michigan has lost to Oklahoma, Birmingham, Tampa Bay, and New Jersey. New Orleans lost to Birmingham, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, and Arizona. Now, one thing we did not mention at the top of the telecast was that the kickers could be a major factor today. You're looking at Tim Mazzetti of the Breakers. He holds the USFL record with 12 straight field goals. He's consistent. Last week, he did miss a 26-yard chip shot against Arizona, and the press has not allowed him to forget it yet. He has not missed an extra point this year. On the other side of the field, we have number 3. You see him hiding in the background there, Novo Bojovic of Michigan, one of the most animated kickers in the league. Presently, he's in the midst of a streak with 9 straight field goals, including a 56-yarder. He's a clutch field goal kicker. He won 6 games in the closing seconds over the past 2 years, and he, too, has not missed an extra point yet this year. 2 outstanding kickers.
I think Novo Bojovic, Tim, may be the most flamboyant kicker in the history of professional football, and Tim Mazzetti, a former soccer player and a one-time hero of Monday Night Football back in 1978, has been the most consistent kicker in the league over the last year and a half.
And I know you like his animation afterwards.
He calls tail. And it is head. You have won the toss. You wish to receive. You're kicking. Which direction do you want?
So there is the call from Ted Humphrey, our referee. And New Orleans has won the toss.
The toss and elects to receive.
And the Breakers, Tim, are a team that like to go right to work. They have had a history of moving right down the field on their initial possession. The 2 times that I have covered them previously this year, they have done that. The first time they've had the ball, they have moved right down and scored. They said, some of the officials I talked to said they would like to get untracked early today to give the team confidence.
The officials for today's game, Ted Humphrey, as I mentioned, is the referee. He has control of the game. He is the boss. The umpire has jurisdiction over the equipment and the conduct of the players. The linesmen you see there look for the offsides encroaching the snap. The line judge is in charge of timing all the games. You see their names there, Kent Humphrey and Viteri and Humphrey. We've had them. We've seen them all year. They've done a fine job. The back judge is in charge of all the eligible receivers, and the field judge is primarily responsible for the kicks from scrimmage, the loose balls, and the like. Novo Bojovic will kick off. Number 3. Kicked the game winner in overtime last week against Houston. That game went 74 minutes in 1 second, nearly 5 quarters of complete football. The deep men. Number 33 is Anthony Steele. And also back there with him is Good, who has had a pretty good year, and Garrett Chase, number 45. Tony Good wears number 31. Novo Bojovic to kick off, and it is a high kick, not particularly long, and it will be taken by Tony Good on the 10. Bangs his way out across the 20 to the 27-yard line, and we will set that offensive lineup for you. The quarterback, as we mentioned, is Johnny Walton. Buford Jordan gets the start over Marcus Dupree. Jordan having an outstanding year. Marcus Dupree will play quite a bit. We may see those two as a tandem in the backfield. But Mark Chalene is the blocking back. The wideouts, Lockett and Smith. Dan Ross is the key man now on the passing attack. They will use him at tight end, but he will also bounce back in a flex, in a slot. They will move him to move the free safety in a position where they can read the defenses. And Marcus Dupree is on the field now, so he will get the start. Dupree coming off a big game last week. His first, as we mentioned, 100-yard-plus game. 125 yards on 11 carries for an incredible 11.3-yard average. The defense for Michigan, and it is a complicated scheme, 3-4, Banaszak, Tipton, and Bethea. You see the pros there. Banaszak with the Steelers, Bethea with the Cowboys, David Tipton, all-pro last year. 4 very fine linebackers. They're active. They'll blitz. They'll stunt. Borland, Bentley, Pennywell, and John Corker, who had 25.5 sacks last year. The defensive secondary, Chapman, Davis, Greenwood, and Osborne. Oliver Davis, the key man there. And there might be a change in the lineup when they come out. Tom Moriarty, 45, out of Bowling Green, is expected to start, and I see now that he is on the field. And Cupper, what's the holdup here? I think they're having problems with the 30-second clock. Let's go down now. Here's the declaration.
The 30-second clock are not operating Time will be kept on the field. The 30-second time will be kept on the field.
So I mentioned when we were showing you the officials for today's game that the line judge is in charge of timing the game. It is in his hands now. There is no 30-second clock, so the call will be made by the linesman. That, of course, is Tony Viteri today. High formation, first down, New Orleans. This is Dupree, right side, gets a hole across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Marcus Dupree. Marcus has been hampered by a hamstring pull this year. Dupree is averaging 5 yards a carry for the season, 366 yards, 6 touchdowns. Signed with this club March 6th.
Not too surprising that they start out with the power pitch. That's pretty much of the definitive I formation play. And for a young, talented player like Marcus Dupree, that's the best way to get the football to him.
So it is 2nd down and 6 for New Orleans. The ball on the 32. Corker lines up, shows blitz. Michigan comes. They throw long. It is intended down the sidelines for Nolan France. He wanted pass interference. There is no call. Clarence Chapman, number 22, was the defender over there. He used the sidelines to nail him in and keep him inside. No flags.
Nolan France running a streak pattern along the right sideline. Let's watch it. I think it's a good call. I don't think there's any real contact there, Tim. Clarence Chapman, number 22, the cornerback, was on the coverage. I think it's one of the things that's smart to do is to air the ball out early like that, because ultimately you know he's going to go back to his dink and dunk route.
2 tight ends, I formation. Charlie Smith, bottom of the screen. This is Marcus Dupree on 3rd and 6, and he may have lost a yard. So New Orleans will have to punt it away because of the fine play by Clarence Chapman, who came up and filled on the outside and made the play and stopped the sweep.
Questionable call here on 3rd and 6, Tim, as they get the ball to Marcus Dupree once again on the power pitch. And number 22, the cornerback, Clarence Chapman, who was just on the coverage, is really up there in a hurry on the support.
So Dario Casarino is in to punt it away. He averages 39.6 yards per kick. And watch his drop. It is very unusual. Sometimes it looks as if he'll whip it. He just throws it out in front of him. The deep man is Walter Broughton, number 24. He takes it on the 20, finds the funnel, gets a key block across the 40 to the 45-yard line. Walter Broughton. And the Panthers will start with excellent field position. Jeff Gaylord came up and made the stop, but not before. Broughton took it across the 40 to the 45-yard line, but there is a flag. The offensive talent for the Panthers, and this is the starting lineup. Bobby Hebert is the quarterback. Ken Lacey and John Williams. Williams has been the leading rusher for Michigan. Derek Holloway is the one wide out. Number 24, Walter Broughton, who just returned that football, will be the other wide out. But it is nullified because of the penalty.
Illegal block from behind, above the waist, during the return. Receiving team number 97. First down.
There's the big offensive line for Michigan. Chris Godfrey, the left tackle, is out of the ball game. He will not start. He is not even dressed. Ken Dallafor will start in his place. First and 10, the ball on the 17. Bobby Hebert goes to work. Broughton and Holloway, the wideouts. Lacey and Williams, the setbacks, and it is Broughton in motion. This is Lacey. Bangs across the left side. Not much there. Good protection, good coverage, and good pursuit by the defense. Now, New Orleans stays very basic on defense. As a matter of fact, after they've lost 4 of their last 6 ball games, Dick Corey told them to go back to basics. There will not be as much stunning, not as much blitzing, a lot of zone. Mike Robinson, Bayless, Merrill will be your down linemen in the 3-4 scheme. Phillips, Merrick, Brewington, and Needham. Merrick is the active one there out of Ohio State. There is your secondary, and it is 2nd and 8 from the 19. Hebert, his first pass of the day. Intended for Holloway. And it's complete to Derek Holloway for a Michigan first down. Bruce Miller was the man who was covering. He made the stop.
Just when they tell you they're going back to the basics, they come with a safety blitz. Harbison was blitzing that time, and number 29, Derek Holloway, runs a deep square in route. It's a curl right in here, and he gets in front of number 40, Bruce Miller, Miller there pretty good on the coverage, but that ball was thrown perfectly. However, there was a safety blitz, Tim.
Holloway, the little flyer from Arkansas, is the club's #1 receiver with an 18-yard average per catch. 1st and 10 from the 33. Quick opener. Ken Lacey picks up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Derek Holloway, you mentioned being from Arkansas, Tim. When he was there, he was overshadowed in publicity by Gary Anderson. But he was a guy that I liked a lot, both as a pass receiver and also as a return specialist.
You saw the numbers on Ken Lacey. Struggled with himself mentally, booed by the fans in Michigan for jumping leagues. If you're not aware of the fact, he has signed a contract with the Kansas City Chiefs in the National Football League. 2nd and 7, flags fly, Hebert throws. It's to Holloway up near midfield. Derek Holloway. And the ball was whistled dead. It will not be a fumble. So Derek Holloway has his 2nd catch. What a story Holloway is.
Good hurry by Jeff Merrill here. No, Mike Robinson is applying some pressure right here. Play action fake, and look how fast Hebert unloads this ball after the fake. Holloway on a deep slant in route, and about 3 guys converge on him right there, led by number 40, Bruce Miller.
Defense, number 92. Penalty is declined. 1st down.
Holloway was a 23rd round draft pick by Michigan, the 274th player chosen. And you talk about beating the odds. He ranked 2nd in the league last season behind Jackie Flowers. In yards per catch, it is 1st and 7, the ball at midfield. Mike Cobb in motion. The give is to John Williams, and again flags fly. Williams bangs his way into New Orleans territory to the 46-yard line. But again, there's a penalty. Ray Phillips, the outside linebacker, came up to make the tackle. And we told you about these two clubs being in slumps, and it continues. We've got sloppy play early. And again, it is against the Breakers.
It's a good point, Tim, because both these teams got off very fast. Michigan was 6-0 early in the year. New Orleans was 5-0, and then they began to slide. And they have had major problems here over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Here's the call.
Encroachment. Defense, number 90, lined up in the neutral zone. Still 1st down.
Things do not get any easier for New Orleans after this. Next week, the Breakers play Tampa. Then they travel to Birmingham, obviously critical games in their bid for the playoffs. Then they travel to New Jersey 2 weeks after that. 1st and 5, the ball on the 45-yard line for Bobby Hebert. Broughton and Holloway, the wideouts. New Orleans shows blitz. They come with it. Here comes Ken Lacey. Ken Lacey up near another 1st down, be 2 yards shy before Marcus Merrick takes the feet up from under him.
Ken Lacey, number 28, gets the ball right here. And watch Marcus Merrick, number 56, who's been the leading tackler on the team over the last 2 years. He averages 12 tackles per game and was the most prolific tackler in Ohio State history when he was there. Tim, he had 572 career tackles when he was a Buckeye.
Look at Jim Stanley, who played his ball at Texas A&M under Bear Bryant. Coach of the year last year in some publications. This is John Williams, who has another 1st down. So the Panthers now, benefiting from the penalties against New Orleans, start to move. Here's last year's USFL Coach of the Year. He spent 9 years in the NFL. Dick Corey of the Breakers. He worked under guys like Sid Gilman, John Ralston, Dick Vermeil, Tommy Prothro. So he has plied his trade and now benefits from the experience.
Also worked under John McKay and one time played for the legendary Frank Leahy as a backup quarterback at Notre Dame.
Lee Groscup, his high school record at Mater Dei in California is astounding. 96 wins, 9 losses, and 3 ties.
That is.
1st and 10, Panthers. The ball on the 38. And Lacey bangs and spins and turns and drives down near the 30-yard line.
Tim, this is indicative of what the Panthers like to do best. They have now surpassed Birmingham as the best possession team in the league. In terms of time of possession, they are averaging 32 minutes and 50 seconds per game coming in this week. So now they're even better than Raleigh ball. You know, they call Raleigh ball synonymous with possession football at Birmingham. The Panthers now are doing it even better.
From the 32 on 2nd and 4, again, they go straight ahead. Mike Robinson makes the tackle. Nothing fancy, straight ahead, no fair dodging. The line from Jim Stanley, the head coach of the Panthers.
Jim Stanley came up with that line in the ball game we covered earlier this year against Birmingham. And I think it's pretty, well, it's kind of vintage Jim Stanley. It sort of signifies everything that he stands for because he's a no-nonsense type of coach, a true fundamentalist.
From the 30, it is 3rd down and 2. Michigan converts on 44% of its 3rd down plays. Split backfield. Lacey and Williams, the Bulls. This is Williams. Gets the first down, or does he? Good fill on the outside by number 59, the outside linebacker, Ben Needham.
I think they're going to give it to him. I think he had the yardage, Tim. He was knocked back, but I think he was there originally.
Ray Penny was the man who pulled out and led the blocking around the corner. And Needham, the outside linebacker, didn't get there in time, I don't think, but they will bring on the chains. It's that close. Ben Needham started out as a Michigan Panther. There were 10 linebackers in camp with the Panthers last year. And when they cut their roster, Needham ended up with the Breakers in Boston, became an All-Pro last year in the inaugural year of the USFL, and he's having quite a career down here with the Breakers now in New Orleans. He got it.
Tim, watch the blocking on the left side of the line. Mike Cobb gets a good hit. Now, Ray Penny, the right pulling guard, is coming around, and he kicks out on Woodrow Wilson, number 20. And that enables John Williams, number 40, to cut right up that seam there.
The 4th first down of the drive for the Panthers. They are now on New Orleans 28. We've got 7:45 remaining in the first quarter of play. Tim Brandt and Lee Grosscup from the Superdome. This is Bobby Hebert. Twin receivers to the top, Broughton and Holloway. This is Broughton in motion. Play action. Hebert with pressure on the backside, and he's sacked. Mike Robinson, number 92, came through cleanly for the sack.
Mike Robinson, who has been very effective on the sack in recent weeks. He had a controversial hit on Bob Galliano of Denver. Now comes in on the blind side of Bobby Hebert, and he's right there to harass Bobby. You notice, we talked about this, Tim, Hebert is playing today with a sprained knee, so he has limited mobility.
He's been taking a beating. That's the 24th time he's been sacked. That's Robinson's 2nd sack of the year. It'll be 2nd down and a taxi ride. 22 yards to go. The ball back on the 40, and Hebert to throw. Drops it across the middle, and Williams drops the football.
If that's a taxi ride, I'd hate to have to pay the fare.
Well, again, New Orleans, which promised us some basic defense, brought 2 men very quickly. Gerald Bayless and Jeff Merrill both came on the blitz.
Well, that may have been hype. You know, they may have wanted everyone to think that they were going to stick to basics because maybe they wanted to blitz more because of Hebert's sprained knee. So they were selling the 3-4 base, but maybe they knew all along they were going to do some stunning and blitzing.
Michigan brings in Mike Williams, a 3rd wide receiver on 3rd and 22. The pass is complete, now fumbled and picked up. New Orleans football, and listen to this crowd. Marcus Merrick made the recovery, number 56, just recently signed a new contract, shunning the National Football League to stay in this new league. Stay with the Breakers. Stay with Dick Corey in New Orleans.
Tim, we talked about this at the top of the show. Plays that have been normally effective for Michigan have been backfiring for them in recent weeks. Straight drop-back action here as Hebert aims for Mike Williams, number 80, catches the ball right there. A good hit by Bruce Miller dislodges the ball, and along comes number 56, Marcus Merrick, the linebacker, to cover the football.
That has been a Michigan problem. They are -7 in the giveaway takeaway. First and 10 from the 27, 6:33 first quarter. Johnny Walton. This is Dupree. Dupree picks up one, maybe two. Tom Moriarty, 45. The strong safety comes up and makes the stop.
A man who's stepping into some big shoes because he's playing for David Greenwood.
David Greenwood, all-pro, covers like a defensive back, plays strong safety, and comes up and fills like a linebacker. Strong talent.
However, Tom Moriarty is a good hitter out of Bowling Green and has been very effective for them on special teams.
Tight end Danny Ross comes out of the ball game, as does Mark Shaleen. David Bale comes in. One lone setback. Charlie Smith in motion. 2nd and 8. Walton to throw. A little swing pass. This is Dupree. And Dupree gets back near the line of scrimmage. Right now, let's go down to our colleague Jim Bergamo.
All right, thank you, Tim. With me, Bruce Miller, who made the hit on that play. But, Bruce, actually, it was Ben Needham who helped you make that play.
Exactly. Like I told you a while ago, we was in a 6 coverage, and I was in the zone, and Ben was forcing to the outside. It kind of made my job easy. I just wait for the ball to be thrown in the zone and come up and make a play like I did.
Did you expect him to fumble it?
I didn't expect him to fumble it, but I expected to make it, without getting the first down. I just want to keep him getting the first down.
All right, Bruce, thank you.
All right, then, thank you.
6 coverage is a 2-deep zone, so they were rolling to the strong side as it was. 3rd and 6 from the 31. Shotgun formation, Walton. Under pressure, throws, but it will be short of the first down, and it is complete to his tight end, Danny Ross. Ross is the team's leading receiver.
He is the leading tight end receiver in the league, and he came into today's game with 42 catches, which is the same number that he had last season when he was in the NFL. That was in a 16-game season. You see some of the things that he does well there, Tim, is that he runs all of the intermediate routes effectively, and at times can be effective as a deep receiver.
He now has caught a pass in 17 straight games when you count last fall. This is Dario Casarino. He had a 48-yarder earlier, almost blocked. High punt, fair caught by Walter Broughton. So the Michigan Panthers will have good field position to start their second drive. They threatened early. A turnover killed the drive. But right now, they'll start this drive on the 26. Scoreless ball game. 4 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Michigan has the ball. Its second possession of this ball game. Moved the ball quite nicely the first time, but then suffered a turnover. They start this drive at the 26 with Mike Cobb in motion. Hebert throws to Cobb to the 32-yard line. He's knocked out of bounds there rather rudely by Charles Harbison.
That keeps Mike Cobb's streak alive. He had caught passes in 31 straight games. That means that he has now caught passes in 32 straight games, which puts him right up there in an elite core of receivers in the United States Football League.
And on his own ball club. He's the only Panther to make a catch in every game. Belongs to the 2020 club, having played and started every single game in Panther history. Hebert now, 4 of 5, 47 yards. Here's Williams. Good penetration by the down lineman in the 3-4 scheme for New Orleans. Not much there.
Despite having his problems in recent weeks, Bobby Hebert is still having an exceptionally fine year. And I mentioned last season he was the top-rated passer in the United States Football League. He edged out Fred Bisana in the final week of the season. He's known as the Cajun Cannon, and it's an apt nickname because he really has a rocket on that shoulder. Very strong arm.
He has thrown 6 more touchdowns than he did this time last year after 11 games, but he has been hot and cold this season. 15 interceptions. 3rd and 2 from the 34. This is John Williams. First down and then some to the 44-yard line. Rambles John Williams. Right now, let's go downstairs to our colleague Jim Bergamo.
Thanks, Tim. You're looking at what quarterback Bobby Hebert looks at every time he calls a play in the huddle. In fact, these are the plays. Backup quarterback Whit Taylor signals to Hebert from the sidelines. The signal corresponds with the number on the sheet. and then the number corresponds with a play, sort of a quarterback's cheat sheet, if you will. Obviously, you can't argue with success, though, with Hebert being the leading passer in the USFL last season.
I used to wear one of those for final exams.
From the 44, this is first down, three-step drop, timing pattern. First down, Michigan. Derek Holloway. Boy, that was a good-looking pass. He does have a cannon from Cutoff, Louisiana, the Cajun. A homecoming of sorts for him.
Derek Holloway running a route that has been very effective for him. It's a deep slant in or quick post pattern, and Woodrow Wilson, one of the more effective guys in the secondary on individual coverage, makes the first hit, gets an assist from Mike Brewington, number 58. Those are the patterns that are really effective for the Panthers, and they set up the deep game, which sometimes will come later on.
Holloway now has 3 catches for 41 yards. This is first and 10. Hebert with time, going deep. Walter Broughton just overthrown. Broughton had his man beat. It was number 40, Bruce Miller. He had a step on him, and the ball was just slightly overthrown by that man, Bobby Hebert.
Hebert is a little upset with himself, Tim, because had he lofted that ball with a soft, looping trajectory, which he could have done because Broughton was out there, I think it would have been a sure touchdown. He put that ball on a line a little bit too much. There's a time when your strength can work against you. There's a time when you need to take a little something off the ball.
Broughton has 4.4 speed in the 40-yard sprint, and if that's his straight-ahead speed, he is even quicker than that when he moves. He was a tailback in college, ran for over 1,500 yards. Second and 10, the little swing pass to Lacey. To the 35 to the 34-yard line. Big Ken Lacey. He's still averaging nearly 5 yards a carry and then some, and he's an outstanding receiver out of the backfield.
Ken Lacey is very effective when you dump the ball off to him on these little swing patterns because he's 6'1", 220 pounds, has excellent speed. I saw him when he was at Tulsa, and he really goes up and down the field. There's a guy that knows how to hit, number 42, Charles Harbison, probably the hit hunter of the Breaker secondary.
Ken Lacey knows how to hit. He is real tough. You know, he was recruited at Oklahoma and Texas as a linebacker.
I believe it.
Look at Jim Stanley, who took this club last year with a 1-4 record and turned things around and became the champions of the new league. 3rd and 1. This is Williams. Again, there's a good fill by the defensive down lineman and outside linebacker and the strong safety, Eric Johnson. Close to a first down. As of yet, no signal.
Jim Stanley is not afraid to go for it on 4th down. You remember the playoff game against the Oakland Invaders last year?
We both worked that ball game. He did go for it, and he made it.
He did?
It is 4th down and inches. Short yardage defense for New Orleans. 4 down linemen. Everybody in tight. 2 tight ends for Michigan. From the 34, Hebert, long count, gives inside. Lacey bulls his way through for the first down, Panthers, following Ray Penny and Tony Osmond.
It's a good place to run, and it's a good call. It's the straight dive play to your biggest, strongest runner. Why not?
Tony Osmond, 255 pounds. Ray Penny, 256-pounder.
Football is about winning and dominating the line of scrimmage. Look at this. See Penny and Osmond? They get out first. Lacey slips right in behind them. I think the first down is there, Tim.
The Panthers now have 7 first downs. New Orleans has been shut out.
They are winning the battle of possession football, and I think that's going to be an important statistic today. We don't have the official numbers yet, but I bet when we get that, the end of the first quarter, you're going to find out that the Panthers really have controlled the ball here early on.
There's the time remaining in the first quarter. From the 32. Broughton in motion. The give is to Williams. First down, and he takes it down inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Bruce Miller upends him. Big John Williams. I mentioned he's coming off his biggest day, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns. He is the Panthers' leading ball carrier, and he's leading the Panthers right now.
This is Jim Lampley in New York. A week ago, many of you saw the Philadelphia Stars rout the Birmingham Stallions. They're off to a hot start again today. First possession for the Stars against the LA Express. Chuck Fusina, a 4-yard touchdown pass to Ken Dunnick. Fusina, 5 of 5 for 69 yards in the drive. Philly leads 6-0, and let's go back to Tim Brandt in New Orleans.
The only fireworks in New Orleans so far, Lamps, has been at the World's Fair. Down the street. Here we haven't had much. It's a scoreless ball game.
However, this was the play in the first half. No, well, I thought we were going to a replay.
This is John Williams on a little trap as he bangs his way across for a gain of 1, maybe 2.
I'm getting a little impatient here. This was the play in the first quarter that really upset Michigan's timing. They were on the move, and Bobby Hebert is going to be throwing a pass to Mike Williams, number 80, the wide receiver on the right. He was just activated 2 weeks ago. That's his first catch, but it's ruined by a fumble brought on by a hit by Bruce Miller, and then the recovery made right there by number 56, linebacker Marcus Merrick.
1st and 5 from the 25-yard line now for the Panthers. John Williams cuts it up quickly. Marcus Merrick close to a first down.
Let's see if I was right about that time of possession statistic. Look at the bottom line right there, Tim, and you see that Michigan had the football for 10 minutes and 18 seconds. New Orleans, the 2 series they had the ball, they had 3 plays and a punt both times. So the Panthers certainly winning statistically, but on the scoreboard, it's zip-zip.
Cup Ryan inadvertently said it was 1st down and 5, and of course I meant 3rd and 5. It is now 4th down and 1, which brings on Novo Bojovic. I mentioned he is in the middle of a streak. 9 consecutive field goals he has hit. He has not missed since the 3rd game. This one from 39 yards is plenty long enough, and it's good. And there is a flag, and I think Novo was roughed up a little bit.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Well, Charles Harbison, number 42, gets up limping, but I think he's the one that made the hit.
Novo Bojovic, soccer style. There's the late hit right there by number 42, safety man Charles Harbison.
A 40-yard field goal by Novo Bojovic. It will stand, and that'll be the first score of the game. Michigan leads now 3-0. And Cupper seemingly in control of this entire ball game.
Well, this is the type of game that they like to play. As I mentioned earlier, Tim, they have replaced Birmingham now as the top possession team in the league, averaging better than 32 minutes a game.
Novo Bojovic out of Central Michigan and Titograd, Yugoslavia. Puts Michigan on the board, 3-0. Bojovic came in and kicked a 40-yard field goal to put Michigan on the board. However, after he kicked the football, you can see number 42, Harbison, come in, take his leg out, and the flags came down, and they called roughing the kicker. What it does is give Michigan a first down, so Jim Stanley elected to take the points off the board. It's still a scoreless ball game, and it gives the Panthers a first down.
Dick Corey came up and wanted to know what had happened. Of course, you know, one of the coach's cliches, Tim, is that you never take points off the board. So let's see if that backfires on Jim Stanley somewhere down the line.
Well, it gives Michigan the ball at the 18-yard line, and it'll be their 8th first down of the ball game. New Orleans has yet to get one.
Jim Stanley, you mentioned that he played for Bear Bryant at Texas A&M back in the mid-50s. Also on that team, Jack Pardee, John David Crow, your college coach, Jerry Claiborne, an assistant coach there.
What a staff. They had a great career, those gentlemen. Not only there, but also later in the pros. From the 18-yard line, the give is to Williams. Williams has a hole, bangs his way down inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. And now, if you're on the defense, you have to be thinking that they got a break. They took the points off the board, and even though they were nailed for the penalty, They have new life if they can just force a turnover here. They've got to come up with a big play. They have to shut down the Panthers.
John Williams, you just saw his numbers from last week against the Houston Gamblers. As I mentioned earlier, he broke a Panther rushing record with 165 yards in that ball game.
Was the teammate of Kyle Borland and David Greenwood at Wisconsin was John Williams. This is 2nd and 6 from the 14. Good defensive play by 37, Eric Johnson, who came across and took the feet away from Big John Williams.
That's the kind of effort you like from a safety man. Look how fast Eric Johnson was up there. There come the plays in from Whit Taylor. Signaled once again to Bobby Hebert. We talked about that. He has the band on his wrist. Hebert has the band on his wrist. They communicate that way.
They both wear a cheat sheet. 3rd down, 5 yards, a long 5 for the Panthers. Broughton in motion. Zone defense. This is Lacey up the middle. Inside the 5 goes Big Ken Lacey. Lacey is the 3rd leading rusher last year in the USFL behind Herschel Walker and Kelvin Bryant. Came into this ball game averaging 5 yards per carry, 349 yards. He's 6'1", 220 pounds, and he can hurt you.
It's a punishing runner. I covered him at the University of Tulsa in a ball game against Drake in 1981, and it was like a track meet. He was going up and down the field.
He now has 27 yards and 7 carries. Quite a tandem. Ken Lacey, John Williams. 9th first down for Michigan. 1st and goal from the 4. Lacey, not much. Good pursuit that time by the defense. Garrett Chase, Ben Needham, Mike Robinson, and Marcus Merrick.
That tandem of linebackers, Marcus Merrick, Ben Needham, they were rivals in college. I think you talked about it. Needham, Michigan, Merrick at Ohio State. But now they work together very, very well.
10 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the half. A scoreless ball game. 2 tight ends, 1 flex, 2 setbacks. 2nd and goal. New Orleans jumped off sides. It was Junior Ayu, number 77, in the left-hand corner of your screen.
Junior Ayu, number 77, sometimes known as the designated sacker. Look at that.
Still 2nd down.
Not much question about that, Tim.
But one of the keys in short yardage defense is anticipation. And it's one of the big advantages the offense has. The offense knows the snap count. The short yardage defense does not. So you have to anticipate. You have to read. And quite often that will happen.
It's a good reminder.
So the down remains the same. It is 2nd down and goal. Inside the 5, although the scoreboard says 3rd down. That's not correct.
They like this double tight end offense down in here.
Yeah, they run the 2 tight ends with a flex. They load it up. It's a power offense. Play action. Hebert in trouble. Eric Johnson, number 37. Garrett Chase, 45, were coming on the stunt. We're in Hebert's face quickly. Big play for the Breakers.
You know the Breakers read that scouting report very well. What their tendencies are in goal line and short yardage situations. Bobby Hebert trying to go with a play-action pass right here is hound dogged right now by Eric Johnson, number 37, and number 45, Garrett Chase, before he can get to the corner and look for his targets.
Eric Johnson has been starting in front of the injured Joe Restick. Restick was supposed to play today, went to the hospital last night with a stomach disorder, and is not here. So it's 3rd down and goal. Hebert with time to his swingman Lacey. And again, the Breakers rise to the occasion. Boy, the crowd loves that.
Captain Breaker, a man who comes all the way down from Boston to be with the team.
Beautiful. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Hi, Mom.
Your kind of guy.
My kind of captain right there. Captain Breaker, who spends a lot of time with the Heartbreakers. A great group of cheerleaders.
Well, Novo Bojovic comes back on to put the points back on the board that he put there a few minutes ago that Jim Stanley erased by taking the first down. Scoreless ball game. He is 9 of 10 inside the 40. This one plenty long enough, then it's good. So we went into a hiatus for 4 minutes. And Novo Bojovic came back on to put the points back on the Michigan ledger. We say that the preceding message was brought to you by the United States Football League. There's your score, 3-0. Panthers. Novo Bojovic will be kicking off. He usually kicks it to about the 5. This one goes to the 4. That's number 31, Tony Good. Takes it to the 20, finds the funnel, cuts back inside to the 27-yard line. Tony Good. So the Breakers will have the football on the 32. Johnny Walton still looking to get some points on the board for New Orleans. Home of the World's Fair, Mother's Day, and they love the Breakers here, the Breaker Blue at the Superdome. High formation, first down, the ball on the 29. Walton wants to throw. This is Dupree. Marcus Dupree out across the 37-yard line. John Corker finally makes the tackle. Here's Jim Bergamo.
Thank you, Tim. With me, Eric Johnson has been very instrumental in the Breakers stopping the Panthers. Eric, you fill in for Joe Restic, who you find out just last night isn't playing. How difficult is that for you emotionally to get up for a game?
Well, I think you always got to stay ready, but I really didn't think that I was going to start, and then I ended up playing free safety, and then they switched me to strong safety halfway through, so I can play both positions, so I feel comfortable.
All right, as far as the game goes, what are you doing to stop the Panthers?
Just basic defense, you know, and that's what you have to do, because they're a basic football team. We're just playing basic defense, and you just got to make the tackles, that's all.
Ball start.
Thank you, Eric.
Offense, number 64, still second down.
Well, the Breakers are stopping themselves with penalties, lots of them.
False start right there by number 64, Greg Horton, the right guard for the Breakers. And again, it's very obvious, Tim. It's hard to say what Eric Johnson meant there by basic defense was simply that they stay with their 3-4 look, zone coverage primarily in the secondary, with not a high frequency of blitzes and stunts.
So it's second down now. And 6 yards to go for the first for Johnny Walton. 3-step drop across the middle. It's complete. That is Frank Lockett. And that's what we expect Johnny Walton to do. We expected him to do it earlier. So much blitzing by Michigan. You look for the quick drop, the quick throw, the fast release.
Hear those cheers? That's because this is vintage Johnny Walton. This is what he does best. Frank Lockett, his big play receiver, running a deep slant or quick post pattern. And he's covered right there by number 21, the cornerback, Oliver Davis, who is now considered the best athlete in their secondary with David Greenwood out of there.
That quick release, too, has been the big key in Johnny Walton being sacked only 5 times this year. He was only sacked 7 times last year. This is Mark Shereen, the blocking back, fullback out of Nebraska.
You know, Tim, that's one of the most amazing statistics in the history of professional football, the fact that Johnny Walton was sacked only 6 or 7 times last season. The quarterbacks altogether were sacked 8 times last year. I think Johnny himself was sacked only 6 times. But you think about that, he threw for nearly 4,000 yards in 1983 and was sacked so few times.
He backed up Roman Gabriel, Ron Jaworski while he played in Philadelphia, originally signed by the Rams. Second down and a long 4. This is Marcus Dupree. Breaks 1 tackle, gets up close to a first down. He'll be just a little bit shy from our vantage point.
That's what the Breakers need, because prior to the start of this drive, they had the ball twice and still didn't have a first down.
That Lockett first down was the first one for New Orleans in the game. Bayless comes back into the ball game for New Orleans. He's the tight end. You look at Dick Corey, who keeps constant contact with the booth upstairs. They call the plays there and then wig-waggle them in. They'll send a flyer, a wide receiver to take the play in. Sometimes they'll signal them. High formation, Dupree and Shereen. 2 tight end formation. Again, it's the quick drop to throw. It's complete to Charlie Smith. Oliver Davis made the stop. Charlie Smith Long-time NFLer for the Philadelphia Eagles, and what a tandem they had in Philadelphia. Wide out with All-Pro Carmichael, and Carmichael now has made contact with Corey. Corey wants to play here.
Quick passing game, 3-step drop by Johnny Walton. 1, 2, 3, throw the ball. He's got Charlie Smith out here on a quick sideline route, and Oliver Davis once again on the coverage gives him plenty of cushion there.
What do you think about Harold Carmichael coming to New Orleans?
He'd be perfect for this team. He would be perfect right here.
From the 35, first down, Johnny Walton. Play action with time. Just drops it across the middle. This is Marcus Dupree. Breaks the tackle inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Marcus Dupree. Johnny Banasek made the tackle.
There's an interesting confrontation of youth versus experience. Key to this is the blocking by Bullard on Corker right there. Watch how he sustains his block. Good work. Of course, you can call holding on just about every play. That was questionable.
You never said that when you were quarterback.
Nope, never did. We changed, though.
5 minutes to play in the first half. 3-0 ball game, Michigan Panthers. This is second down and short. Big hole, Buford Jordan inside the 20. First down, New Orleans.
Tim, if you're an NBA fan, you'll want to know that Boston beat New York today 121-104 to win that series. Watch Buford Jordan from his tailback position. The Breakers utilized the draw play about as well as any team I've seen. Now, Buford Jordan, we talked about him at the top of the show, leading rookie rusher in the league, even more prolific than Mike Rozier, over the 700-yard mark already. And when he was at McNeese State, he became the best career rusher in Louisiana collegiate history, even surpassing the great Charles Alexander.
He averages an incredible 6.5 yards per carry, and he's carried the ball more than 100 times. Here he is again. This is Jordan. Gets a block. Fumbles the football, and it goes out of bounds. So Buford Jordan gets a break as the ball goes out of bounds after leaving his hands. Ron Osmond came up and made the tackle and knocked it loose.
That's a break for that breaker right there. Power pitch. Buford around the left side. He should switch the ball right here and get it into his right hand, but he keeps the ball in his left hand. It's swatted away there by Bentley and Osborne.
Good heads-up football by Jordan. Once the ball got away, then he knocked it out of bounds. Actually swatted it out of bounds.
Good eyesight.
Second down, a long 6 for the Breakers. Johnny Walton, long count, looks over the defense. They're in a man coverage. They show blitz, and now they jump all sides. John Corker, Larry Bethea on the right side were chomping at the bit to blitz. They may have been too aggressive. I love these debates. Have you ever been in there? He did it. No, he did it. Fingers point back and forth.
Yeah.
On the field lobbying.
Yeah, I've been down there. So have you. On the other side. You played defense, I played offense.
Ball start. Offense, number 87, still second down.
And the defense wins.
The defense doesn't rest. It wins. You know, Buford Jordan coming out of McNeese State, Tim, was hardly a household word to most college football fans, but the pro scouts knew about him. They had him rated very highly. In fact, some of them had him rated right up there with Mike Rozier as the top running back in the country from the 1983 collegiate season.
A mix-up now for New Orleans. They bring out Mark Chalene. They put in Jordan. Now Jordan's coming off the field, and it looks as if New Orleans is playing with one shy. They are. They're playing. No, they've got 10 men in there. 11 men in there, rather. Oh! And that confusion cost them. Marcus Dupree and Ray Bentley having some words, and look at Dupree. And Dupree is built like a linebacker.
John Corker comes over and kind of settles Marcus down, says, hey, take it easy. Watch how quickly Ray Bentley comes up and reads this play, and look at the hit. That's a clinic for open field tackling as he goes right through the numbers of Marcus Dupree.
I'll tell you what, I don't think he read that play. That was his key and he stayed with them all the way. And, you know, Dupree is a hoss. He's 6'3", 240 pounds. He can take on those linebackers.
Bentley isn't that big, so he had a great effort right there.
Well, Bentley.
So what you're saying is you don't think it was a read as much as that was his assignment.
That's exactly right. He went with him wherever he went, but Bentley's 240.
Well, you played that linebacker position, so you should know.
240. Again, they go with 4 wideouts, 1 set back in the shotgun formation. Back there with Johnny Walton. And Walton going for the touchdown. He's got Jordan open. Touchdown, New Orleans. Again, they had the linebacker isolated on Buford Jordan, and Jordan beat him to the corner. Wide open, and Johnny Walton hit him for the score.
That's exactly what the Breakers like to do. They are a great team for creating mismatches. And that time they had Buford Jordan running with Will Coakley along the right sideline. A little pump fake by Johnny Walton that time. No, he said that, I asked him if he'd ever patterned himself after anybody. He said, yeah, Johnny Unitas. He always liked Unitas with that pump fake. Remember how Johnny U used to do it?
This is Tim Mazzetti. He's still perfect on the year. 64 attempts, 64 extra points. He has not missed. So with 3 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the first half, New Orleans breaks on top 7-3.
Tim, at the far left corner of your screen is Buford Jordan, and he is going to swing out of the backfield. Johnny Walton sets up in the shotgun, comes back, 3-step drop from the shotgun, and you see that Jordan outruns Will Coakley, the linebacker, number 58, and then coasts on into the end zone. That ball was thrown with a nice, soft, looping trajectory over the head of the linebacker, and that's a picture play by Walton. You notice that Buford's a little lighter this week. He's got a new hairstyle.
Buford Jordan, 4.4 speed. It's a total mismatch when you go up against the linebacker. Johnny Walton now 8 for 9 for 65 yards, and he's got New Orleans on the scoreboard. High kick taken on the 9. That's Walter Broughton. Has a hole. Out across to the 36-yard line runs Walter Broughton. Garrett Chase was the man who chased him down. 7-3 is your score. We'll be right back. Michigan has the football. Bobby Hebert, your quarterback. The flex man there in the bottom right-hand of your screen as Mike Cabo goes in motion. This is Hebert. Looking deep, has a man. It's Ken Lacey, and he drops the football. Lacey was wide open, isolated on the linebackers. And he had Ray Phillips, number 52, beaten on the sideline.
Michigan coming back with the same philosophy that New Orleans just used, trying to isolate a back on a linebacker. And Ken Lacey, you see right there, has beaten number 52, Ray Phillips. The ball is thrown a little bit short, but he should have had it.
Actually, it wasn't Phillips' fault completely. It looked like they were in a zone defense. They had shown man, then dropped off into a zone, and he got into the seam.
Got into the deep outside seam of the zone coverage.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 for Bobby Hebert. Again, he's got Holloway and Broughton wide outs. Again, it's a zone defense. Hebert to throw against the zone. He has his tight end, Mike Cobb, first down Michigan. Well, the hero right now here in New Orleans is Buford Jordan, who has a touchdown, and right now he's with Jim Bergamo.
Buford, that 25-yard scoring play, you said Michigan really didn't show you anything. It was just a play you've been working in practice, and you decided to go for it at that time.
Yeah, all it was, you know, we just had the 2 receivers like come down and kind of pick on my man and slow him up and me get open. And, you know, it worked.
Lee wants me to ask you think that new hairstyle of yours made you faster?
No, I don't think so. You know, it's just something to do. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Lee Grosscup's going to get one of those, Buford. This is a first down, quick opener. Little trap. John Williams is the ball carrier. Buford now has 2 carries, 13 yards. He has that 1 catch for a 25-yard touchdown, so he's having a pretty good afternoon.
I had a talk with Buford before the game. He told me that his favorite runner had always been Earl Campbell.
Well, that's a good one to look up to. Well, with 1 minute and 46 seconds remaining in the half, Michigan with a football. Panthers 1st and 7, trying to beat the clock now with 2 minutes remaining. They did put time back on the board because it was a 2-minute warning. The clock continued to roll to 1:45, but they have corrected that injustice. 24 is Walter Broughton. He's in motion. Under pressure, Hebert throws off his back foot. Holloway has the pass down to the 35-yard line before Mike Brewington makes the tackle. He'll be 4 yards shy of a first.
Derek Holloway, Tim, pound for pound, is probably the strongest man in all of professional football, despite the fact that he's only 5'7" and 165 pounds. He can bench press 385 and squat with 580. He's on an underneath pattern right here. Ball thrown a little bit behind him, but he makes the catch. Mike Brewington, number 58 on the tackle.
He's a member of the Arkansas All-American Strength Team. Squats 580 pounds.
What I just said.
I know you did. That's, I'm repeating it. I can't believe it. There he is again. He makes the catch. First down, Michigan. He has a 20-yard average per catch.
Well, you're right. It is worth repeating. 580 pounds on a squat for a man that's 5'7", 165 is incredible. He spends a lot of time in the weight room. He's a very dedicated athlete. Look at the hand-eye coordination as he makes the catch there with number 40, Bruce Miller, right on him. And now we're getting into hurry-up offense time for the Panthers.
Look at those numbers. 5 catches, 60 yards. Bobby Hebert wants to talk things over with Jim Stanley. So with 1:17 remaining in the half, they want to make it count. The Panthers are driving.
It's an important time in the game for the Panthers.
Michigan has dominated in time of possession. They just haven't been able to put the points on the board. Fumble football. That's Eric Johnson, 37. And New Orleans gets the ball back with 1 minute, 11 seconds left in the half. John Williams couldn't hold on to the football, just popped out. And Eric Johnson having a big afternoon for New Orleans.
You know that coach's cliche, mistakes will kill you? Look at this. John Williams on a trap play up the middle has daylight momentarily. The ball is stripped by Mike Robinson, number 52, and covered and picked up by number 37, Eric Johnson in the secondary. Big play, turnovers twice now have killed the Panthers.
1 minute, 11 seconds in the half. Keep in mind, Johnny Walton, the quarterback, is one of the best quarterbacks in the USFL in the 2-minute drill. He uses the clock extremely well. The give inside to Jordan. Jordan bangs his way, carries defenders to the 27-yard line. Dick Corey, the head coach, utilizing the clock, trying to get the plays in. The clock stops with 1 minute and 2 seconds left.
Nickel, John, nickel!
Now continues to roll. We're down to 55 seconds. Last year, Walton won games against Philadelphia, Chicago, New Jersey, and Washington in the last minute of play. He's got 45 seconds here. Twin receivers. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, and that's where Walton's going. The quick out. It was intended for Nolan France, number 84, but it was thrown out of bounds.
This is one of the ways to control the top sack man. Larry Bethea right here has 8.5 sacks coming into today's game. Lewis Bullard, number 72, and Dan Ross, number 86, double team him. That's one of the ways you keep a great sacker away from your quarterback.
37 seconds left. Everything New Orleans has done thus far has been high percentage. The ball was thrown out of bounds last time just to stop the clock. Keep in mind, we can't see the 30-second clock. It is not operating this afternoon. They have had troubles with it. And New Orleans wants a timeout. So the field judge keeps an eye on the 30-second clock. Turnovers now for Michigan. This is Buford, Jordan, inside handoff, and it looks as if New Orleans now just trying to run the clock out. So they won't utilize the clock. They will not try to get down in field goal position for Tim Mazzetti.
Got a scuffle downfield here, Tim.
That's Frank Lockett, Oliver Davis, 21. Let's see what's cooking down on the sidelines with Jim Bergamo.
Tim, what's cooking is Mike Robinson and the rest of the Breakers defense. Robinson came up with the strip of Lacey for the ball. Mike, the defense is coming up with the big plays when it has to.
Well, I tell you, last week we were kind of disappointed because the defense played so well, and
we couldn't get nothing going offensively, and we lost. But it's a team game. But we decided that, hey, we're gonna keep it up and play that kind of ball against Michigan, and that's the way it's been so far.
You're coming up with the big plays after they've been driving on you. Why have they been successful?
Well, I don't know. Bobby Hebert, he's been throwing a lot of quick passes, pass routes, and I guess he's trying to open us up defensively. But we're gonna try to shut the running game down so they can just continue to throw the ball.
All right, Mike Robinson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know, Cupper, when these two clubs played last year, Michigan won at 28-24, but Johnny Walton had him moving near the end of the ball game. He hit Frank Lockett at the 3 with 2 seconds left, but the Breakers couldn't get off another play to win it. Time expired. Walton completed 37 passes in that game for an astounding 423 yards.
And 3 touchdowns.
Two teams don't like each other much.
They will stretch and claw.
31 seconds remaining. Johnny Walton, shotgun formation. Prevent defense by the Panthers. Everybody loosens up. Buford Jordan, nowhere to run. Good play by Dave Tipton, big number 65.
To amplify on what you just said, this is the only time these two teams will meet in 1984, so they're going to get their licks in now.
That will heat things up quickly. Intensify the game. Johnny Walton. It is complete to Marion Brown, number 82. And with 8 seconds left, maybe Mazzetti will get a shot.
That's a perfect pass by Johnny Walton as he throws into the deep outside seam of the zone coverage. That ball had to be thrown with such precise touch and timing. Watch Johnny from the shotgun here. See this, Tim? He has to throw over the intermediate coverage and under the deep coverage. You see that? Right there along the sideline. I'm talking about Corker and Clarence Chapman.
23-yard gain. They're not quite within the range of Mazzetti. Mazzetti's longest field goal is 44 yards. He's missed from 46 and 47. There is 8 seconds remaining on the clock. Walton in the shotgun, going deep. Is it complete? No, they say he's out of bounds. 1 foot in, the other out. It's a 2-foot league.
It was originally designed to be a 1-foot league, but they changed that, and it is indeed a 2-foot league. So let's watch along the sidelines as Frank Lockett, number 80, is running a deep square out pattern. I don't think there's any question that he only has 1 foot there.
Well, let's take a closer look.
Here, there's a closer look right now. The ball thrown perfectly. Brings him back a yard. 1 foot is right there. The second foot is clearly out. Absolutely no question. Excellent call by the official.
3 seconds left. John Walton now has to score. Mazzetti won't get a chance. Walton double pumps, now throws deep, way overthrown, intercepted, and it'll be touched in the back. For a touchback, Oliver Davis, 21, makes the interception, and that'll be the end of the half. So Johnny Walton, in his effort to put more points on the board for New Orleans, comes up shy. He's 9 for 13, 88 yards. So, we'll be back with today's halftime activities after this message and a word from our local stations. The only score thus far in the first half was Johnny Walton, the quarterback of New Orleans, who from a shotgun formation, working against a zone defense on one side, man to the other, went to the man side and had Buford Jordan isolated on Will Coakley, the linebacker. He had him beaten down in the corner and scored, and that put New Orleans on top 7-3. That's the way it stands right now. So, we're about ready to start the second half. The teams have come back on the field at the Louisiana Superdome, and we'll be back with that kickoff right after this message. The Michigan Panthers having won only 1 game in the last 5 weeks. New Orleans struggling as well. But the Breakers have the lead 7-3. Tim Brandt Lee Gross Cup from the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, a city synonymous with diversity. The quarterbacks here today. Bobby Hebert from Michigan. His numbers in the first half. 10 completions in 13 attempts for 104 yards. That is not a bad day. But they have also had 2 turnovers, and that has killed the Panthers. On the other side of the field, Johnny Walton, the quarterback for the Breakers. He is 9 of 13 for 88 yards, 1 touchdown, but he too has suffered a turnover. He has 1 interception. And Lee Gross Cup, turnovers. Turnovers. That has been a key as both of these clubs have struggled here in the last couple of weeks.
Exactly. See the second to the bottom line there. Michigan with 2 turnovers. New Orleans turnover was meaningless because Walton threw that interception on the last play of the first half. But that battle of time of possession, the bottom line there is interesting because Michigan has controlled the football, but they are behind in the scoreboard. So once again, that old coach's cliche, mistakes will kill you, is really the truth. Especially when you're driving. When you have drives going like Michigan did, and you lose the ball when you're in someone else's territory.
That's Dick Corey, the coach at New Orleans. Coming into this ball game, Michigan was -7 in the giveaway takeaway statistic. New Orleans was -2. That's not very impressive.
Especially since so much of that has happened to them in recent weeks. These are two teams who last year were very impressive in the giveaway takeaway category. Jim Stanley, of course, was the USFL coaching champ last season. And we talked about how he had an interesting coaching career prior to his first head coaching job. Of course, he's best remembered as head coach at Oklahoma State, where he coached John Corker at one time.
And Dexter Manley of the Washington Redskins. Corker and Manley, two of the best rushers in both leagues. Manley, of course, with the Washington Redskins in the NFL. We're teammates at Oklahoma State for Jim Stanley. Tim Mazzetti, number 5, will kick off for the Breakers.
Mazzetti, I think we talked about this earlier, Tim, has been the most consistent kicker in the short history of this United States Football League. I talked with Tim before the game. He reminded me that up until 1977, all of his heroes were soccer players. He grew up in Brazil, was primarily a soccer player, got into professional football for the first time in 1977, then became a hero on Monday Night Football with the Atlanta Falcons back in 1978. Remember that game?
Absolutely. He played for the Falcons there. You mentioned that. Now he holds the record in this league with 12 straight field goals. The deep man, Walter Broughton, 24, and Anthony Allen, number 87. It will be. That's not Anthony Allen, but he's across the 20 to the 32-yard line. Goes his substitute, who is Albert Bentley, playing in his first game with Michigan. So the offensive lineup then for Michigan as they take over here in the second half. Bobby Hebert, who we just gave you his numbers. He's been in contract negotiations over the last couple of weeks. Ken Lacey, John Williams, the two setbacks, Holloway and Broughton, are your wideouts. Mike Cobb is your tight end. Chris Godfrey is out of the ball game. Ken Dallafour will be playing in his place. He's injured. Tyrone McGriff, Radloff, Penny, and Osborne. Big, strong offensive line for Michigan. They have the ball at the 29. Hebert has it. First down, two wideouts we mentioned. Holloway and Broughton. Zone defense for New Orleans. Play action. Throws back, looks at Lacey. Now goes deep for Broughton. Broughton has him beaten, and it looks like he was interfered with. Yes, here comes the flag. Bruce Miller was on the coverage, number 40. Doesn't like the call, but I think it is justified.
So Hebert airs it out to start off this second half. Play action pass, deep ball. At the end of the play, I can think you can see that it's a good call. You've got Miller and Wilson closing in on Walter Broughton right there. And it's Bruce Miller, number 40, who hooks him right there.
Keep in mind, the defender has as much right to the football as the receiver, but that time they interfered.
Defense, number 40. First down.
Number 40 is Bruce Miller. In this league, don't forget, it is 5 and 15 on pass interference, whether it is flagrant or unintentional. So it moves the ball up. They'll have it on the 49-yard line now. It is not placed at the spot of the infraction in this league. First down, Bobby Hebert under pressure and sacked. Ben Needham, number 59, with backside pressure, pulls Hebert down.
Ben Needham, who had his best game last week against Arizona, 3 sacks last week in that ball game, coming on a blitz here. Hebert tries to move out of the pocket. Bear in mind that he's playing with an injured knee. Tries to move out, and Needham's right on him.
Third time he's been sacked today, and this is the reason why. Robinson and Bayless. Needham is the key in the linebacker pool. Bruce Miller having a big day in the secondary. Hebert to throw on 2nd and 18. Mike Cobb makes the catch, but again, Eric Johnson, 37, forces him out of bounds.
Mike Cobb on a short sideline cut. We mentioned that he's caught a ball now in 32 straight games. Man on the coverage is number 37, Eric Johnson. That's his assignment when you're the strong safety, is you have to go man for man with that tight end.
Jim Stanley trying to make things work. New Orleans now in a defense that looks like a zone, but they're rolling up on the outside men as they come to the line of scrimmage, so they show man on the outside. Hebert tries to read it. Now they show blitz. New Orleans does. This is 3rd down, 13 yards for the first. Hebert has a swing man open. That's John Williams, who hears footsteps and drops the football. Again, it's number 59. Ben Needham is there. 58 is Mike Brewington. And Marcus Merrick came over.
John Williams, coming off his best game, has made mistakes today, Tim. Trying to catch a flat pattern swing route from Bobby Hebert, and he does hear footsteps, and I don't blame him. Number 59, Ben Needham, is a hoss.
This is the first punt of the day for Michigan. And it is John Mack. He's out of Northwood, 6'4", 210-pounder. Keep in mind, David Greenwood is out. He had arthroscopic surgery last week. He is the ordinary punter, but he's not here. The return is Woodrow Wilson, who takes it out to the 28-yard line, and that's where Johnny Walton and New Orleans Breakers will have it, first down. Here, New Orleans has the football on the 27-yard line, first down. This is Ross in motion. Swing back is Dupree. Dupree pulling his way to the 29-yard line, but good pursuit and good coverage by the defense of the Panthers. Buford Jordan is the man in the backfield who was alternating with Dupree. Johnny Walton is your quarterback. Shalene out of Nebraska, the blocking fullback. Lockett and Smith are your wideouts. The tight end is Dan Ross. And there's your offensive line. Big, strong. They like to run behind Bullard and Raymond on that left side. The average is 266 pounds.
Good average. They protect their quarterback. You talked about the few number of sacks that Johnny Walton has had over the last year and a half.
We got 15 yards on it. Man-to-man defense by the Panthers. Ross now splits out wide. Two receivers to the top of the screen. This is 2nd down and 8 for Walton. This is Dupree to the 40. To the 47-yard line goes Marcus Dupree. Marcus had a big game last week, well over 100 yards. He's running against Banaszak, Tipton, and Bethea. Orland, Bentley, Pennywell, Corker, 4 good ones of the linebackers. The key man in the secondary, Oliver Davis. David Greenwood had arthroscopic knee surgery. He's out. Tom Moriarty is in his place. Moriarty out of Bowling Green. Marcus Dupree had a 67-yard touchdown called back last week. Blitz. This is Walton on first down, going to the sideline. Way overthrown, intended for Charlie Smith. Not a bad decision, because it was pretty good coverage over there on the corner.
Johnny Walton, let's watch his form. He's got a blitz coming now. Let's see if he finishes. Sometimes when a quarterback is harassed like this, he isn't able to complete his motion. Johnny does, though. Look at that. He talked about how he particularly admired Johnny Unitas and how he was often compared to Johnny Unitas in his style. I can see it right there. Even wears high-top shoes like Johnny U used to, and has kind of that stoop-shouldered way of coming up to the center.
Walton is 9 for 14, 88 yards. Pitch back to Jordan on 2nd down. And again, there's not much there, and he loses the ball out of bounds. Kyle Borland with the big hit. Borland, the 6'3", 238-pounder out of Wisconsin.
Badgers are well represented on this team. Of course, David Greenwood, you mentioned, is out today. But when Greenwood's in there, they have 3 good ones.
Borland plays extremely well in that corner. He's a fine contained man, and the keynote there is he was not drafted by the National Football League and not drafted by the United States Football League. He came by way of recommendation from his former teammate David Greenwood. Walton puts him in shotgun now as you listen to him bark out the signals on 3rd down and 10. It's complete. That's Charlie Smith to the 45 in Michigan territory.
Charlie Smith out of Grambling, and how many wide receivers can you think of who have come out of Grambling? So many outstanding ones as they played that wingback position. Johnny Walton, 4-step drop out of the shotgun. Number 85, Charlie Smith, runs a hook route. He gets in between the coverage there. Bobby Futrell, who played for Johnny Walton at Elizabeth City College, is the man who gets the first hit.
You can think of a lot of receivers that have come out of Grambling. Charlie Smith, of course, the all-time leading receiver, and he broke the record that was set by the Buffalo Bills receiver, Frank Lewis, at that school.
Right.
Smith now 2 catches, 22 yards. 9 minutes, 5 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Fake reverse. This is Dupree. And look at Dupree. Use that weight, use that shoulder, and fuck that neck. Inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. The best drive of the day for New Orleans.
This play has been effective for Marcus. There's been some questions in recent weeks whether or not he should have given the ball off to the reverse man, but this time he keeps it, picks up 2 blocks right there, makes the cut right there. You talked about the fact that he's so big. He's 6'4", 200 and about 40 pounds. Actually, he came in at 248, Tim. He lost about 10 pounds. His age is about 238 to 240 right now, and he is also the fastest man on the Breakers squad.
Just 19 years old, Marcus Dupree will turn 20, May 22nd. This is Mark Chalene, loses the football. Who's got it? The Panthers say they do. It was Kyle Borland who may have recovered it. Larry Bethea put the hit on Mark Chalene, and we're still waiting for a call. Banaszak has the football right there, number 76. Late call. Michigan football.
Let's see if we can see who gets the first hit on Mark Chalene. Larry Bethea, number 79, appears to get the hit right there. There's the loose football. Chalene momentarily looks like he's going to have the ball, but then it's number 76, John Banaszak, who comes right in and pounces on the loose ball. So there's the first big break of the day for the Panthers. That other turnover was really insignificant because it was an interception of a Johnny Walton pass right before the halftime.
This was the best sustained drive that New Orleans had had yet.
Good point.
So Bobby Hebert, amidst the boos of the New Orleans Breakers fans, has it first down from the 37-yard line. This is Ken Lacey. And it looks like it's going to be holding down on the line on Tyrone McGriff, number 61. The flag is right at his feet, and he's not happy. Looked pretty obvious, and we could see it all the way up here. He was working on Marcus Merrick. So mental errors continue to plague the Panthers.
Both teams.
Especially Michigan, though. I think Michigan's moved the ball at will up and down the field and has 3 points on the board. 2 turnovers, 3 sacks, penalties.
Holding. Offense, number 61, still first down.
Well, we talked about this earlier, Tim, but both teams are in their mid-season slump. Michigan has lost 4 of their last 5 games. New Orleans has lost 4 of their last 6. Both teams got off fast.
Every game is do or die, but I think these games, especially this one, may be stretching at a point. You look at the standings, they are really in a situation where they have to win. Plenty of time for Hebert, and he throws complete. A gain of 4 yards from the original line of scrimmage. Let's go down now. John Banaszak is standing by with Jim Bergamo.
John, the Michigan defense got a chance to turn the table on the Breakers. The Breakers defense was coming up with the big play. Finally, you get one.
Well, we knew that in order to win this ball game defensively, we have to come up with some big plays. And I don't know who made the hit. One of our linebackers made the hit, and the ball popped out, and was fortunate enough to be right there.
What do you think this is going to do for the Michigan defense? Got to pump you up.
Well, I think we're going to play much better for the rest of the half, and hopefully our offense can get things going the way they did the first half.
All right, thank you, John.
2nd and 8. This is Hebert with time, and he throws to Williams, and Williams takes a pretty good lick, but holds on to the football. Marcus Merrick and Ben Needham.
Big Ten tandem of linebackers, and how they converged that time on John Williams, who came out of the backfield and ran a hook pattern. Got to credit Williams that time for holding on to the football. We accused him of hearing footsteps earlier. He did not hear the steps that time.
I love to hear Banaszak talk. He's 33 years old, but he still has the enthusiasm and the intensity of a high schooler.
How many rings on those fingers? How many?
4 Super Bowl rings.
Wow.
4 championship rings. He has one last year with the Panthers, the inaugural season in the United States Football League. He loves this game of football. Long-time Pittsburgh Steeler. There's your time. 6:27 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Hebert brings everybody in tight. 3rd down. A long 1 yard, maybe 2. This is Williams, has the 1st down, then some as he bangs his way up to midfield.
We talked about the tandem of runners at the top of the show and how they work well together. Look at Lacey blocking for Williams right here. He's got the lead block. He sticks his head right in there. Ray Penny is in there, and he's leading too. Mike Brewington, number 58, gets the 1st hit on John Williams. That has been one of his most effective plays, the long trap play over the left side.
Williams led the Panthers in touchdowns last year with 13. He now has 47 yards and 13 carries today. This time they fake it to him. Hebert throws. It's complete. Ball's loose. Fumble. No, they're saying it's incomplete.
I think it's a good call. I think it was incomplete. He never really had possession, Tim.
The ball was thrown to Walter Broughton, who had curled up underneath the zone. He had found his way into the seam. The ball hit him. The hit was made, and the ball went loose. Take a look at it, Cup.
You watch. I think it's a good call. Play action fake, little semi-roll to the right side. Curl in route by Broughton right there. Broughton, now watch. Let's count. 1. See, he never. I'd say it's about a second. I'd say it's about a second and a half.
Good no call. Bruce Miller, number 40, was the man who stripped the ball loose. He didn't have it long enough. 2nd and 10 for Hebert. Deep drop under pressure, throws off his back foot. He's going to be way shy of the 1st down. John Williams does make the catch, but Mike Brewington stops him immediately.
So they're going back to those nickel and dime routes, little dink and dunk stuff to the backs. Hooks, curls, circles, flats, swings.
Best thing to do in this situation, since they had made so many mistakes and turnovers, so they go to the short, controlled, high percentage ball control. Broughton to the bottom of the screen. They need a long 4 yards for the 1st. Holloway to the top. Hebert to throw. Backside pressure. Throws. Incomplete. It was intended for John Williams. Marcus Merrick was the defender, 56, and he put his head on a swivel immediately looking for flags, thinking that there could have been a pass interference, and I agree with him. This time it should have been called.
7-step drop. Let's watch Marcus Merrick. He's in the middle. Yes. 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 There definitely could be pass interference there.
So 4th down means that the Panthers have to punt it away. This time, Novo Bijovic, number 3, the kicker, is on to punt. Look at his average, or his longest last week, rather. 57-yarder, that's a record, and his average was 42 yards per punt. Fumble, and Michigan gets it back. Well, the game has deteriorated to the point where they're just playing giveaway football now.
Woodrow Wilson fumbles right there. He should never have fielded that ball, Tim.
Number 20 is Futrell, and then 88 Don Eccles came around. He's at the top of your screen. He came in and made the recovery.
If he's going to field it, he ought to have a fair catch and be up further. There's a big break for the Panthers. There's the most opportune field position they have had as a result of a turnover all afternoon.
First down, Michigan. 4 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Broughton in motion. Hebert in trouble, scrambles out to the 17-yard line. Mike Robinson nagged him from behind.
Derek Holloway is the wide receiver here in the slot. He's just running loose here. He knows Hebert's in trouble, so he just breaks his route, tries to get into some kind of a plane to help Bobby Hebert once he starts scrambling. Remember, Hebert playing today with a sprained knee. They drained some fluid off that knee before today's game. He's not as mobile as usual.
Breakers 7, Panthers 3. 3 minutes, 22 seconds left in this quarter. Second down, 10. Hebert with the man, throws across the middle, almost intercepted. Woodrow Wilson had the ball in his hands, but couldn't hold on.
There's a flag. There's a flag right on the goal line, Tim.
Oh my, everybody holds their head. It is against New Orleans.
See if we can see the contact. Derek Holloway is the intended receiver. Hebert, 5-step drop, looks, throws. Near interception right there by number 20, Woodrow Wilson. The infraction is called on Bruce Miller, number 40, against Holloway.
Watch him, he goes piggyback.
Keep your eye on number 40, Bruce Miller. Here's the piggyback ride right here.
Pass interference.
Good call.
Defense, number 40. Half the distance penalty, first down.
See, they were looking at the wrong man.
Who was?
The fans. The fans didn't see the interference. That's why they're booing.
Well, the official had the right man, and he called it against Bruce Miller. That is 7 penalties now for 46 yards against New Orleans. First and goal from the 9. John Williams, right side, gets a block. Takes it to the 8-yard line. Jeff Merrill and Ray Phillips fought their way down through Ray Penny to make that tackle.
Overall, the Breakers are doing an excellent job of stringing out John Williams on the sweep and the long trap play. Those were his most effective plays last week in the ball game where he rushed for 165 yards, a new Panther record against Arizona. Or rather, Houston.
John Williams voted Wisconsin's most inspirational player when he played for the Badgers. This is second and goal from the 9. Hebert with plenty of time throws the swing pass to Lacey, and Lacey goes out of bounds. He may have picked up a yard, but that's it. Awful lot of work for that little gain, and Lacey looks like he may have hurt his right leg.
Hebert is looking downfield first. Now watch. This is his secondary. This is his outlet receiver. Lacey makes the catch along the sideline, and let's see where he hurts his leg.
He was out of bounds.
He was. Forget the injury for a second, and let's consider his right foot or his left foot.
It is third and goal. Broughton in motion. Long call by Hebert. Incomplete. Intended for Mike Cobb, the tight end. No flags this time, and that'll bring on Novo Biovic. Biovic, one of the most consistent kickers in the league. Presently, he's in the midst of 10 straight field goals. The record is 12 in a row, set by Mazzetti of New Orleans.
Also one of the most flamboyant place kickers in the history of professional football. Real character type. Wears garlic in his right sock.
16.5-yard field goal. It is certainly long enough, but it is no good. It's wide. And Bojovic's streak is broken.
And pandemonium is breaking loose right now here in the Superdome. Look at this. He hooks it. He hooked that ball, Timmy. Wide to the left.
A 26-yard attempt by Novo Bojovic goes wide. And the Panthers are shut out again.
And watch Marcus Merrick at the tail end here. You can see that Novo is disappointed. He knows he's hooked the ball. Now watch number 56 coming into your picture here. He's giving Novo a little bit of his own medicine because Novo is noted for doing a little taunting. He's a very demonstrative kicker. And what else did you see? You're pointing there. What are you seeing?
Well, with the new rules in the other league now, that would be a penalty.
Yep.
Breakers get the ball back, the pitch back to Marcus Dupree. Looks for a block, gets it, turns the corner, has some room, across the 40, the 50, into Michigan territory to the 44-yard line. Marcus Dupree. And oh, did he get some key blocks on the corner to turn that one loose. 36-yard gain.
At Oklahoma as a freshman. It's the power pitch. Great lead block there. Another block on the corner. And now he just turns on that 4.3 speed that he has. And look at him go along the sidelines. Finally brought down there by Tom Moriarty, number 45. Good blocks by Ross and Horton.
Moriarty got cleaned out. Marcus now has 66 yards and 8 carries. 1 minute, 44 seconds remaining in the third quarter. This is Dupree again. Fakes the reverse. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Ben Needham right now is on the sidelines with Jim Bergamo.
Ben, a simple question. Why can't you guys stop them early? You're making the big plays late.
We talked about that at halftime. You know, we're stopping them, but we're waiting, and it's ruining our field position for the offense. So hopefully now we got them fired up a little bit. You know, we'll be able to stop them a little earlier than we have been.
That last one really had to help you.
Oh, it helped a lot. You know, they give them the down over, and then they missed the field goal. So, you know, that helps a lot. Hopefully we got it cranking now.
All right, baby, thank you.
All right. Hi, Mom.
What a job that defense has done. Rubber band defense. Stretch it, but don't break it, and that's what it's done today. This is Buford Jordan. A very tough 2-yard pickup. Alan Hughes and Kyle Borland, the men who came up to make the tackle there. We repeat that this Michigan defense is about as sophisticated as you'll find in this league. They run combination defenses. They'll run zone to one side, man to the backside. They'll give you different looks. They blitz a lot. They'll bring their safeties, especially when Greenwood is playing. They'll also bring Borland and Bentley and Corker. 3rd and long. They need 9 for a first down. Walton out of the shotgun. It's complete to Charlie Smith. What a move at the 30. Down to the 25-yard line goes Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith out of Grambling.
The blitz was on that time, Tim, and there was room over the middle in the secondary. Johnny Walton out of the shotgun. You see the double blitz coming there. Notice how much room there is in the middle of the field as Charlie Smith runs a square in route, and it's Bobby Futrell, number 20, who forces him out along the sidelines with an assist from McKeever, number 36.
Charlie Smith is another tough customer. You know, he played in the 1980 Super Bowl with a broken jaw, still made 2 catches.
Good reminder. I'd forgotten that.
We're down to the last 4 seconds of this quarter. First down for Johnny Walton and his breakers. This is the draw to Dupree to the 20. And now they'll take the long walk to the other side, but the breakers are fired up after a great defensive effort. The offense is now on the move. Johnny Walton is heated up. And the breakers are on the move. Panthers and the Breakers will continue after this message.
Those ladies known as the Heartbreakers, the official cheerleaders of the New Orleans Breakers. Of course, we got Captain Breaker down there along the sideline, leading cheers too.
Johnny Walton puts his man in motion. That's Dan Ross on 2nd and 5. The give is to Dupree. Looks for the corner. Breaks containment. Gains his balance and picks up the first down.
"19 years old with unlimited potential is that man, Marcus Dupree." Looking at the numbers for the third quarter, Tim, we see once again how Michigan continues to win the battle of time of possession, but they trail on the scoreboard. However, they're ahead now in total yards, 227 to 178.
First down for the Breakers, 14:54 remaining in the ball game. And the crowd comes to life now. David Bale goes in motion. The lone setback is Dupree, and he gets the pitch. This time there is no containment. He comes back, reverses his field, picks up a block to the 20, to the 16-yard line, so it will be a loss of about 2.5. That's an awful long distance to run for losing 2.5 yards.
Well, he may have seen Marcus Allen in the Super Bowl. Remember what he did there? It's kind of a good look from ground level. When you're an athlete like Marcus Dupree and you have this kind of speed, you can take a chance like this once in a while. Turn back, reverse your field, hope you'll pick up some blocks. But that time he just didn't get enough help. What did he end up? Losing 2 yards?
He lost 2. Marcus has been hammered by a hamstring pull this year. He told us before the ball game that he is feeling healthy and he's ready to run. 200 yards in his last 23 carries, so he's hot. This is Buford Jordan. Buford to the 10, to the 7-yard line. Buford Jordan. Jordan was the Breakers' #1 draft pick, and some scouts, as you mentioned, Cup had him rated as highly as Mike Rozier.
Take a look at John Corker, number 57. He was known as the sack man last year with 28.5 sacks. USFL Defensive Player of the Year. Got out kind of slowly this season. Has started to find himself in recent weeks. In there a little prematurely. In fact, he overruns the play. As a result of that, Buford kind of runs right by him on the other side. He does get back into the pursuit. It's Osborne who ultimately makes the tackle.
Yeah, there's a screw up in the New Orleans backfield, so they want timeout. You mentioned the strength of Holloway. Buford Jordan is a strong one. He bench presses 340 pounds, squats with 490 pounds. Johnny Walton wants to talk things over. They're too close to make mistakes now. Tremendous run by Steve Young.
I think Steve Young is the most exciting scrambling quarterback since Fran Tarkenton came into the league, into the National Football League back in 1960. He's kind of a combination of Tarkenton and Ken Stabler. What a player he is.
John Walton on 3rd and 4. Throws the wide receiver flanker to Frank Lockett. Lockett turns it inside, gets down close to the 6-yard line. Again, there's some words being spoken down there. Hot words between Lockett and John Corker.
Frank Lockett, who played a year of minor league football in the California League, they're trying to get the ball to him on a sideline screen pattern right here. It's John Corker who's out there in a hurry to upset the timing.
Well, I tell you what, Ron Osborne, number 23, looked like he came in late. This is Tim Mazzetti. He missed last week from 26 yards. This is a 24-yarder, and it's long enough, and it's good. So Tim Mazzetti gives New Orleans 3 more points. And they now lead 10-3.
Look, he fumbles the ball completely right there, picks it up, gets the ball around in time. How the laces were pointed the wrong direction, but it's still on the tee, and Mazzetti follows through and hits it. Quick hands.
And didn't throw Tim Mazzetti off. Good concentration, kept his rhythm, came up, made contact with the football. So Tim Mazzetti, number 5, will now kick off. And the Breakers will have to go back on defense.
It's hard to say. Kickers don't like that when the laces are facing them, though.
High kick that'll go over near the sidelines and go out of bounds. They'll penalize him 5 yards.
remember holding for a few kickers, and they were always upset when I didn't get those laces around in time.
Tim Mazzetti holds the record in the United States Football League with 12 straight field goals. That record was in jeopardy by Novo Bojovic, who had 9 straight coming into this game. But Novo missed one in the last quarter. And so the record is safe.
Tim, we talked at the very top of the show about how this game could be decided by a foot today. We covered the Breakers earlier this year when Tim Mazzetti kicked the winning field goal against the Pittsburgh Maulers in a game that was a wild shootout. Glenn Carano had his best day as a professional in that game.
This is a game, Cupper, as you well know, of mental ebbs and flows. And they came back after that defensive goal line stand after Bojovic missed the field goal, and they came right out and they drove it down and scored. It's tough to come back after this score, though, and kick it out of bounds. Then it's a mental letdown. You move back 5 yards, you give them an extra 5 on the return.
Could be a big break for the Panthers, especially if they get a long return out of it. That's a pretty good kick.
This time it will stay in bounds. It'll be Albert Bentley. Albert Bentley out of Miami, and he takes it up to the 27-yard line. We'll see where they mark it. But that's where Bobby Hebert will have control of it to start this drive.
Albert Bentley, we talked about him, a player out of Miami. They traded John Arnaud to the Chicago Blitz for the rights to Bentley. Got Bentley. He still has not carried the ball. He has worked on special teams. At Miami, of course, he played with Jim Kelly, and later with Bernie Kosar. He's a good one.
Derek Holloway comes to the bottom of the screen. The top is Walter Broughton. The 2 setbacks, Williams and Lacey. Hebert reads the blitz. New Orleans shows its hand, cuts off the corner, and makes a tremendous stick. Jeff Merrill. We've talked about it in weeks past, Cup, and we've joked about the proper form for a tackle, but if you saw the way he made the stick that time, Merrill did tuck his tail, skied his eyes, and drove right through the ball carrier.
So what you're telling me is that Merrill right here is giving an open field clinic. Let's see. All right, tucks the tail, skies the eyes, drives right through him. Something Tim Brandt learned at the University of Maryland while playing for Jerry Claiborne. Jerry used to like to say that, I think.
Oh, yeah. He liked guys that were chomping at the bit to get out on the field and do that all day long. 2nd and 8. This is Williams. Gets a hole across the 35 to the 40. Almost breaks free.
He's got the first down.
Right now, let's go back to New York. Jim Lampley has this USFL report.
Tim, just at the moment that I was telling you about the Steve Young touchdown, Young made his first big mistake of the day. As you see, 29 seconds were remaining in the third quarter when that underthrown pass was picked off by Garcia Lane. And Lane has put Philly back in control of the football game. He ran it back to the 2-yard line. Riley scored. They missed a 2-point try. It's 15-14 Philly. Back to Tim Brandt, New Orleans.
Well, that's quite a ball game there. Things are heating up here as well in New Orleans with Bobby Hebert at the controls. He's got the first down with 10 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, trailing by a touchdown. The give up the middle is Lacey, who bangs his way out to the 44-yard line. Ken Lacey, who has signed the future contract with the Kansas City Chiefs.
This graphic, I think, is very important. When Anthony Carter was healthy, the team was 6-0. When Anthony went down with that fractured arm, they have since been 1-4. I think that illustrates the importance of Anthony Carter. We have said that right along. He is their big play man. Not only what he does for them, but how he affects the rest of his teammates. And let's talk more about that.
Tom Dornbrook went out before him with a knee injury. David Greenwood now is out, so they're losing quality athletes. Flags fly. Lacey left side goes down. Not much there. New Orleans thinks the penalty is against Michigan.
Ball start. Offense, number 75.
There is no question but the fact Michigan has been hit hard by injuries this year, but at the same time, I think they've hurt themselves mentally with so many contract disputes.
Good point.
And Bobby Hebert has been in the midst of that. Ken Lacey has jumped leagues. Chris Godfrey is going to the New York Giants next year. And that does not help team morale. The Breakers go into a zone defense. Mike Cobb from Michigan goes in motion. On 2nd and long, Hebert to throw to the sidelines, intended for Cobb, incomplete. Good coverage out there by 59 Ben Needham, who took the front side, and Garrett Chase, 45, took the back side. Anytime you can get into a zone and do that to a defender, you're in good shape.
Let's watch Mike Cobb's pass pattern here as he starts in motion. Gets outside the linebacker, moves up the field, cuts toward the sidelines. Ben Needham there on the coverage. I think that ball had to be thrown there because if he had thrown it anywhere else, it would have been intercepted.
Michigan needs 13 yards for the first. Backside pressure. The ball is loose. New Orleans gets it.
Mike Robinson has that ball. Junior Ayu got the hit. Mike Robinson, number 92, has come up with perhaps the biggest turnover of the day, because if the Breakers go down and score right now, they could put this game in the cooler.
That's the 4th time this afternoon Bobby Hebert has been sacked.
Junior Ayu, sometimes referred to as the designated sacker, comes from the defensive end position to the blind side of Bobby Hebert, closes down and swats the ball away with his right hand right there. Now here comes Mike Robinson, number 92, from the other side, and pounces on the football.
That is the 3rd turnover of the afternoon for Michigan.
There it is. He beat Delafour, number 78, to the outside and put the pressure on Hebert.
Point to be made. Delafour substituting for Chris Godfrey.
Absolutely.
9 minutes remaining in the ball game. First down for New Orleans from the 36. The reverse. This is Lockett. Lockett catches the block, cuts back against the grain. He fumbles it, and Michigan gets it back, or do they? Larry Bethea, 79, comes up with the ball.
Trick play, pitch to Dupree, hand off to Lockett on the reverse. He makes a cut right here. Now watch, here comes Kyle Borland, number 52, hard hit, strips the ball. Along comes number 79, Larry Bethea, for a big turnover recovery. Isolated here on Lockett. You see him getting the reverse from Marcus Dupree. Here's the cut. Here's the hit by Borland, number 52. And along comes Larry Bethea again, number 79.
Giveaway, takeaway all afternoon. It's the 4th turnover for New Orleans. 3 fumbles, 1 on a punt return. John Williams gets the corner and turns it up to the 35. Well, well, you get nothing easily done here in the Superdome by the Breakers. They beat San Antonio 13-10, beat Chicago 41-35 in overtime. Denver, they beat 20-18. We did the game where they beat Pittsburgh coming from behind 27-24. So many three-pointer-less games. It's almost as if they thrive on pressure.
And that last graphic illustrated that there have now been 7 total turnovers in today's game.
This is 2nd and 5. Straight ahead, and again, tempers flare. Tyrone McGriff's in the middle of it. Cleo Miller is in the ball game now.
Tyrone has been in a few scuffles that we've seen this season.
33 is Cleo Miller, who's into the ball game. He was the ball carrier on that one.
Former Cleveland Brown great.
Cleo has a storied past. Started 26 consecutive games with Cleveland. Still ranks as the 7th leading rusher in Browns history. Third down, short. Hebert to throw. Again under pressure. This time he has a completion. They've got the first down. That's Mike Cobb, his tight end. But even though it was complete, Cupper, Hebert landed on the seat of his pants.
He's been pressured all afternoon. Jeff Gaylord, the nose tackle, is the man who put Hebert there. 7-step drop. Let's see the pressure up the middle. There comes Gaylord. Mike Cobb, number 89, had run a curl-in route. Mike Brewington gets the first hit. He's number 58, the linebacker.
This game's turned into quite a helmet banger. Hebert on first down. Gives to Williams. Again, they come right side. Oh, what a hit. That's Bruce Miller, number 40. You had big number 74, Ray Penny, leading it around the corner. But Bruce Miller penetrated, got through the blocking, and made the hit.
This will warm the heart of any defensive coach. Watch Bruce Miller, number 40, come up and hit the other number 40, John Williams, right there. Look at that. He is in perfect position. He just rips his legs out from under him. Makes a great open field tackle.
Miller is only 163 pounds. He stands 5'9". Williams is well over 200. Second and 7. We're down to 5 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the ball game. Hebert throws. Cobb complete. First down, Panthers. How do you feel about overtime, Cupper?
There was an overtime game televised here earlier this year against the Chicago Blitz. That was a real barn burner. We nearly had overtime against the Pittsburgh Maulers. Then I was here with Keith Jackson a few weeks ago. The game against the Denver Gold. That one nearly went into overtime.
Against Pittsburgh, New Orleans scored 2 touchdowns in the last minute and 40 seconds. There is a holding call on Wayne Radloff, number 55, Michigan center. So nullify that play. It means absolutely nothing.
Right in the middle of the screen is center Wayne Radloff out of the University of Georgia.
That's called a full-fledged tackle.
Offense, number 55. Still first down.
Bobby Hebert now has 4 minutes and 57 seconds to work.
That's plenty of time.
First down, 22 yards for the first. Hebert again under pressure, throws across the middle and a good lick on Terry Miller. And oh my, Marcus Merrick and Mike Brewington. Brewington was the man who made the initial hit, and that's a perfect tackle made on a receiver who was watching the ball and had no idea the man was in the area.
Hebert, 6-step drop here. Now he throws the ball and doesn't follow through, but it's there to Terry Miller, and talk about a clinic for open field tackling. Mike Brewington, number 58, goes right through the numbers.
What that does is it will have Miller's head on a swivel the next time he goes under the linebackers. He'll be looking from the direction of the hit.
Head on a swivel. I like it.
Again, there's pressure. The ball thrown. Intercepted. That's Mike Brewington, who just made that tackle, takes it up to the 48-yard line.
They came back with the same play. This time it went off Terry Miller's hands right into the hands of Mike Brewington, number 58. I think Mike's hurt.
So is Ken Dallafour. The tackle, number 78 for Michigan.
So we have had a physical game here today in the Superdome. Hebert, now here's the secondary of the the New Orleans Breakers. Watch Brewington, number 58. Takes the ball after it's been tipped off the hands of Terry Miller and makes a key interception. And now once again the Breakers are in excellent field position.
Look like great big bear paws. Brewington, 232 pounds.
Let's see if Hebert finishes right here. He's throwing a little cautiously because of all those sacks.
Looked like Miller. We just talked about him looking for the hit. Went up in the air and took his eye off the ball and just tipped it. Well, the 4th turnover for Michigan. First pass interception for New Orleans. You're looking at Mike Brewington. They're working on his leg. It looks like a knee injury. First game back after sitting out with injuries. And it looks like he's hurt again. Tough break. Played a fine football game. 3 minutes. 56 seconds remaining here in this one. Charlie Smith comes to the bottom of the screen. Shalene, the up back, the I back is Jordan. This is Jordan to the 42-yard line as he busts into Michigan territory.
Another look at the last play. Mike Brewington, number 58, makes the interception after it's tipped off the hands of Terry Miller. Let's see if we can see where he hurts his knee. He goes down right there. Someone may have tripped across him or kicked him in the knee. It may have been Tyrone McGriff, number 61.
Or he may have just banged that kneecap on the turf, hit it pretty hard. Jordan now has 47 yards and 9 carries. That last run for 9 yards. This time he's got the first down. So Buford Jordan coming up with a couple of key runs here as they try to melt the clock. It's down to 2 minutes and 47 seconds.
Man, we talked about at the top of the show, and a guy that I've gotten to really like this season, Buford Jordan out of McNeese State, where he became the most prolific rusher in Louisiana collegiate history. That record was held previously by Charles Alexander of LSU.
He's the only player in Southland Conference history to rush for over 1,000 yards 3 straight seasons. Very strong athlete. He was injured last year in college, and his brother Simon filled in for him. Not much there on the right side. What's the story down there, Jim Bergamo, on the injury?
Well, Tim, as it was feared that it could be a re-injury of his left knee again, but it is not a knee injury. He dislocated his big toe on his left foot, so that is not good, but then it's better than re-injuring that left knee.
All right, so rather than guesstimate on what the injury could be, Jim Bergamo gives us the straight story. 2 minutes, 8 seconds, but New Orleans has the football. Right now, their opponent is the clock. They're trying to melt that clock down and trying to win a game which is so important right now in their drive to the playoffs. Coming into this game, we told you they had lost 4 of their last 5. In third place, 2 games behind Birmingham, 1 game behind Tampa Bay, and those are their next 2 opponents. They need this one badly. Second down, 11 yards. The pitch back to Jordan. Good second effort, but he still just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. And there's another Michigan player shaken up.
There's going to be a late hit. I'll bet you there's going to be a late hit. Great second, third, and fourth effort by Buford Jordan. He never gives up on this. Watch this. Power pitch. Student body right. Lead block by Shalene. Ray Bentley comes up, gets a hit right there. That usually brings a man down. He puts the hand down. He's still going, still pumping those legs. Look at that second, third, fourth, and fifth effort. It takes 6 men to get that horse down.
I don't see any late hit. As long as he's driving, you have a right to try to stop him.
It's going to be a face mask call, I think.
Instead of the late hit. Well, let's go down and we'll get the declaration from the referee. Our referee today is Ted Humphrey. That's him wearing number 30. What is it, Ted?
Face mask, 5-yard penalty, defense, still second down.
Okay, so that clarifies it.
Ted takes his cue well from you. Those Heartbreakers, great cheerleaders are in there. I guess you could really say that the Dallas Cowboys started all this, because it seems like every team in professional football now has an outstanding set of cheerleaders.
I think Marcus Dupree is dating one of the Heartbreakers.
Well, Novo married one of the Panther cheerleaders. Remember that? Earlier this year.
2 minutes, 1 second remaining in the ball game here. Second down and 7 for New Orleans. 2 tight ends, I formation, Smith in motion. Jordan, the cutback, close to a first down. Did he get it? Depends on the mark. He had to go to the 29.
Got a rumble down here, Tim. Spurs flying.
Boy, they've got their nostrils flared now.
Hey, that's up, steady!
been that kind of game, and I think these two teams are a little frustrated. We talked about the midseason slumps that both have experienced. Both needing a win very badly right now. Michigan loses today. They're going to be tied with Houston for the lead in the Central Division.
And Oklahoma. Two expansion teams in the Central Division. And we mentioned that New Orleans.
2-minute warning.
Well, you heard our referee, Ted Humphrey, say 2-minute warning. The penalty has been declined. New Orleans has the football. He's disappointed, missed a field goal earlier. His club trails by 7, but they need the football back before they can do anything with it. Third down, 1 for the first down. Big play here for New Orleans. Buford Jordan. I don't know.
I don't either.
Second effort may have gotten it. Second effort. He exploded after the initial hit with that leg power that he has. And we told you he does have some leg power. He bench press, or squats rather, 490 pounds with those legs. And he got the first down.
Watch those legs go again. They're like pistons. Look at this. Now watch. There's a collision. See how he keeps going? Keeps driving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. And he keeps pushing forward. He told me that same thing that you just talked about. I talked to him before the game, Tim. Of course, I kidded him about his haircut, but he said that he's spending a lot of time in the weight room. And he's getting stronger every day.
He's 222 pounds, squats 490 pounds. Here he is again, looking for help. Now all they have to do is hold on to the football. We're down to 1 minute and 19 seconds.
Buford told me that he never lets his weight get on to 224 pounds.
Well, he now has 60 yards and 14 carries. He wants just a couple more. That'll last him 1 minute and 18 seconds, and they'll have the win. Of course, New Orleans has created a world unto itself here with its own food, its own language, and architecture, and fun. Home of the World's Fair
this weekend. Major opening. Happy Mother's Day.
Buford Jordan spins, turns, drives inside the 20, close to another first down.
Well, you know, if it weren't for a fellow by the name of Jim Kelly, you could think about this man being the Rookie of the Year. I think right now, if you took a vote, it'd be a shoo-in for Jim Kelly.
Jordan came away holding his head. I think he got a headache after that one.
It's understandable.
The attendance today is 21,053.
Considerably down for their average, but not too surprising. Figure it's Mother's Day, World's Fair open this weekend. Plus, good weather hurts the walk-up here in New Orleans. One of the few places where good weather actually hurts the walk-up crowd.
Fine city. World's Fair in a city whose name is synonymous with diversity, international sophistication, hot-blooded jazz, fabulous food, and down-home congeniality.
Did you have your grits this morning?
Absolutely. Black-eyed peas.
What a shootout that is.
18-14. The LA Express have come of age, battling the Stars right down to the wire. As soon as this game ends and that one's still going on, we'll try to switch you over and let you see the tail end of that one. We've got 1 minute, 10 seconds left. The Breakers holding on to a 10-3 lead. Michigan now hoping for a miracle, just trying to get a turnover. They'll be grabbing the ball down at the bottom of the piles, trying to strip it, tackling the ball rather than the ball carrier. 1 minute, 10 seconds left. The Breakers have a 7-point lead. Big down here. It's 3rd and 1. Everybody in tight. 2 tight ends. 1 setback. The motion man is Smith. Jordan might have gotten it on second effort. Corker still going after him. Buford Jordan's putting the ball in the deep freeze, isn't he?
Well, we were just talking before we went away about some of the top rookies in the league. Of course, with the kind of numbers that Jim Kelly is rolling up at Houston, you got to figure he's the top candidate for Rookie of the Year. But if it weren't for Kelly, you'd have to take a look at this guy as a top prospect. Of course, Steve Young is coming on so strong now. And I think the LA Express may be, in the second half of the season, Tim, the most improved team in the league. They have maybe the best young talent in the United States Football League.
You saw it. He made it by an inch. That should just about do it.
Buford Jordan, reverse spin by Johnny Walton. He goes off the right guard, spins, turns, drives, twists, reaches forward with the football, does everything in his power to get those extra inches.
And he got it.
That kind of player.
He now has 66 yards and 16 carries. Quite a tandem. Buford Jordan, Marcus Dupree.
Best young tandem in the league would have to be.
And, of course, they've got Mark Chalene blocking for him. He was the guy who led the way for Mike Rozier to that Heisman Trophy last year at Nebraska. Michigan jumps off, gets back. No, flags fly.
I think Mark Chalene is probably as good a lead blocker as I have ever seen come out of college.
35 seconds left.
Encroachment offense, number 57, still first down.
The standings now, as you look. First at the Southern Division, Birmingham and Tampa Bay leading New Orleans, who is now 8-4. Tampa Bay is up next week for the Breakers, and then the following week it'll be Birmingham. So New Orleans has a shot and still very much in the hunt in the Southern Division. The Central Division now, as Michigan drops behind Houston. Oklahoma is 6-5, plays coming up. So Michigan now hurts its chances in the Central Division. So once again, the final score, 10-3. After this message and a word from our local stations, we'll be joining Jim Lampley in New York. So for Lee Groscup, I'm Tim Brandt saying so long from New Orleans.